You ever notice how every time you try to move forward in tattooing, something or someone seems to pull you back? Like the second you start getting confident, someone has to knock you down a peg. It's almost like the industry's designed that way. Like it's built to break you before you ever stand a chance of actually winning. When I first started, I didn't get it. I thought it were me. I thought I wasn't good enough or fast enough or talented enough. But years later, when I'd built studios, trained artists and taught thousands of people, I realised something. The system wasn't broken. It was built that way on purpose. See, this industry runs on control, not community. It feeds off people's insecurities because that's what keeps the hierarchy alive. And when you're new, when you're trying to prove yourself, you're the perfect target. You'll work for free, you'll stay quiet, you'll beg for approval, and they love that. That's the part nobody tells you. The game was never built for you to win. It was built to keep you small enough to never compete. When you first fall in love with tattooing, it feels pure, doesn't it? You're obsessed. You'll spend hours sketching, watching videos, saving up for your first machine. You imagine that the moment you finally step into a studio, people will see your passion and guide you. But the reality hits pretty quick. You walk into studios with your portfolios, and instead of guidance, you get smirks. You show your artwork to tattooists online. They'll tear it apart just to make themselves feel bigger. And what starts as excitement slowly turns into doubt. You start asking yourself, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'll never be good enough. But that doubt isn't a reflection of your ability. Far from it. It's a byproduct of an industry that thrives on keeping people believing that they're not enough. Because the second you believe you are enough, you don't need their approval anymore. And when you don't need their approval, they lose control. That's why so many of the old school voices still push the same tired lines. You're not a real tattooist unless you've done a traditional apprenticeship. You have to earn your place scrubbing floors before you earn the right to hold a machine. Online courses are ruining the industry. It's manipulation disguised as mentorship. Because here's the truth. If those same people actually wanted the industry to evolve, they'd be helping the next generation grow. Instead, they've built walls around knowledge and call it tradition. I remember when I was just first starting out, I'd get home from a long day, scroll through other people's pages to just feel crushed. Their work looked flawless, mine looked fucking average at best. And I'd convinced myself that until my tattoos looked like that, I didn't deserve clients. I'd spend months obsessing over being accepted instead of actually getting better. And one day I looked at my diary and it hit me. I hadn't tattooed in nearly 2 weeks. Not because I wasn't capable, but because I was too scared to post my work, too scared to market myself, too scared to be judged. That's when I realised I'd stopped being an artist and started being an approval addict. The industry teaches you that your worth is defined by other tattooists. But here's the thing, other tattooists don't pay your bills. Your clients do. You can have the respect of every artist in your city and still be broke. Or you can have a diary full of paying clients who love your work and never once asked where you learned how to tattoo. That's the difference between chasing recognition and building a real business. See, the system wants you to chase respect because respect doesn't pay. It keeps you busy polishing your ego instead of your portfolio. It keeps you stuck comparing yourself instead of creating. And over time, that pressure breaks people. I've seen insanely talented artists walk away from tattooing altogether. Not because they weren't good enough, but because they were emotionally drained from the constant judgment. They thought leaving meant that they'd failed. But the truth is they were just tired of being broken down by the industry that confuses suffering with strength. And I'm telling you right now, struggling doesn't make you legitimate. Starving doesn't make you respected. And burning out doesn't make you passionate. What makes you legitimate is growth. What makes you respected is consistency. And what makes you successful is balance. The kind of balance that you only get when you treat tattooing as both an art and a business. And let's talk about that for a second, because this is where most people fail. They get so caught up in the art that they forget the business. They think if they just get better at tattooing, the clients will just naturally, automatically even come in. But skill without strategy is like having a Ferrari with no petrol. It looks impressive, but it's not taking you anywhere. Running a tattoo business isn't just about the tattoos. It's about marketing, branding, communication, confidence. It's knowing how to position yourself so clients want to book in with you. Not because you're the cheapest, because you're the one they trust. Yet no one teaches you that. You're taught how to shade and how to line, but not how to sell. You're told to keep your head down, but never told how to stand out. And you wonder why so many artists are living month to month, barely scraping by, even after years in the game. This is what I mean when I say the industry's built to break you. It's not just about ego or gatekeeping, it's financial too. You're trained to be dependent on studios, on others' approval, on clients that you have to chase instead of attract. But when you learn how to build systems, when you take control of your education, your brand, your marketing, everything changes. Suddenly, you're not waiting to be chosen, you're building your own path. And that's when the system stops working against you because you've stepped aside from it. I remember the first time I decided to run things a little bit different. I stopped trying to impress other artists and started building relationships with my clients. I focused on clarity, clear photos, clear prices, clear communication. I made it easy for clients to find me, easy to book me, and easy to trust me. And within months, my entire life changed. I went from hoping someone would notice me to being booked out for months in advance. And that's when it really hit me. The moment you stop playing by their rules, you start winning by your own. And the sad part is most people never get that far because they're too busy fighting battles that don't even matter. They'll argue online about coils versus rotary, fake skin versus real skin, learning online versus apprenticing, while their calendar stays empty. Meanwhile, the quiet ones, the ones building behind the scenes, are stacking experience, clients, and confidence. Because here's the truth, there's no prize for being the most respected tattooist in a Facebook group. There's only the life that you build. If that gives you freedom, stability, and pride, then you've already won. The artist who makes it long-term aren't the ones chasing trends or clout. They're the ones who learn to stay grounded when everyone else was shouting. They're the ones who built businesses when everyone else built opinions. The industry will try its best to convince you that you need to earn your worth, that you need to be tested, humiliated, and broken before you deserve even the slightest bit of success. But that's nonsense. You don't need to be broken to become strong. You need to be guided, supported, and educated in the right way. Because when you learn properly, when you understand the foundations of tattooing, you don't just survive this industry, you thrive in it. And the thing that breaks most artists isn't lack of talent, it's lack of direction. They're trying to build a house with no blueprint. They're practicing endlessly, but they don't know what they're practicing for. They jump from YouTube tutorial to YouTube tutorial, picking up random pieces, hoping that it kind of all fits together, but it doesn't. That's why I built the fundamentals course in first place, to give people the thing that I never had, clear path, a structure that actually builds you up instead of tearing you down. Because when you have structure, you stop doubting yourself, you stop questioning whether you're good enough and start focusing on progress. You see your skills grow week by week, and you see your confidence build session after session. And that's when tattooing becomes fun again. You remember why you fell in love with it in the first place. The truth is the industry isn't going to change anytime soon. The egos, the gatekeepers, the toxic competition, they're always going to be there. But you don't have to play their game. You can play a smarter one. Focus on your art, focus on your clients, focus on your growth. That's it. When you start doing that consistently, you'll notice something really interesting. The same people who used to look down on you will start watching you quietly. They won't comment, but they'll notice how booked up you are. They'll notice your clients are loyal. They'll notice that while they were talking, you were building. And that's the sweetest revenge there is. Not proving them wrong, but outgrowing them so much that their opinion doesn't even register anymore. So if you're watching this and you feel like the odds are stacked against you, you're not imagining it, they are. But that's okay, because the game only works on people who don't know how it's played. Once you see through it, you can build a version of success that nobody can take away from you. That's what I want for you, to stop letting an outdated system break you and start building one that supports you and your goals, because you deserve that. You put in the hours, you've got the passion, now it's time to build the structure. If you want to learn tattooing from the ground up, in the right order, with the right guidance, check out my Fundamentals of Tattooing course. It's everything that I wish I had when I first started. I'll drop the link down in the description somewhere. Until next time, listen, keep learning, keep growing, and never let a broken system decide how far you can go in this industry. See you in the next one.